All right, now we're going to begin. Welcome to Study Abroad in Scandinavia. I wanted to have Scandinavia be separate from the Europe session because I didn't want Scandinavia to get lost in the mix. I think it's a really unique place to study. We send quite a lot of students there every semester. So most of the programs in Scandinavia are semester-length programs. So if you're going there in the fall, you'll be participating in a fall semester program, missing our fall quarter. If you're going there in the spring, you'll be in a spring semester program, missing our winter and spring quarters. And there are also some summer options as well. We send a lot of students there across disciplines. It's a very popular location, but again, pretty different than the rest of Europe. So we're going to get into that today. As I mentioned, we are recording this session. None of your videos are up, so hopefully that's not a problem for anyone. All right, so there's a lot to think about in general when it comes to studying abroad. When is the best time for you to go? How's this going to fit into your overall academic plan? What type of program should you select? Where should you go? How are you going to finance this opportunity? How might your identity play into this? And of course, how does this fit into your overall academic plan? We're going to break all of that down today. So as I mentioned, in Scandinavia, we have semester and summer options. We also do have some students who go for the academic year. You're definitely going to want to speak to your academic advisor about when is the best time for you to go. A lot of students ask, when's the most popular time for students to go? And that really varies depending on your academic plan. So whether you're a transfer student, a first year student, second year student, you definitely need to talk to your academic advisor about when is the best time for you to go so you can start planning for that time, saving specific courses for your time abroad, and taking a look at the courses that are offered by your host institution so that you can be aware of what you need to be taking here at UCSD before and after your time abroad. You also want to be aware of program dates. As I mentioned before, these are usually semester-length programs. We're on the quarter system. So you want to take a look at the program dates and find out how that's going to affect your time here at UCSD. If you're thinking about going abroad for a spring semester program, as I mentioned before, you're going to be missing our winter and spring quarters. Those programs run from January to May, so that's something to be aware of. When are the application deadlines? I can tell you if you are thinking about going to Scandinavia for example, for fall 2021, so that's next fall, your application process is going to begin this fall 2020 with deadlines in February. So that's, about 9 months in advance in terms of your application process. So it's pretty early. Anywhere from 9 months to a year in advance is really normal in our study abroad world. And then again, for the third time, how is this going to fit into your overall academic plan? We don't want studying abroad delaying graduation for you unless you're fully aware and totally okay with it delaying graduation for you. We have data to prove that students who study abroad graduate more on time or earlier than students that don't. So overall, this should fit very seamlessly into your academic plan, and that is why we require that you participate in so much academic planning. Even within Scandinavia, there is a lot of variation in the location. Some of our locations are very urban, very cosmopolitan cities. Others are more rural. So you want to really think about what type of location are you looking for? Do you want to be on a big campus like UCSD? Do you want to be in a smaller, quieter campus, smaller class sizes? Those are all things you should take into consideration. And you may think, oh, I want to go to X city, but perhaps X city doesn't have the courses that are the best fit for you, and Y city has better courses for you. So that's also something to think about. And then what sort of housing option are you looking for? Are you looking specifically for a homestay? Would you rather be in an apartment or in a dorm room by yourself? All of those things you want to take into consideration. And then, of course, finances. So all the programs that I'm going to show you today, you can use financial aid to cover the cost of your program. I'll break down the differences between UCEAP and OAP, but know that financial aid can travel with you on our study abroad programs. And there are tons and tons of scholarships available that you can apply for. Scholarships available through our office, through the colleges at UCSD, through the individual study abroad programs, and bigger national study abroad scholarships. There's no limit to how many scholarships you can get. Anything that you're eligible for, you can definitely apply for. We would love for you to stack scholarships on top of your financial aid. And we will be offering essay writing workshops, whether we're in person or virtual. Come this fall, we'll be offering those workshops to help coach you through what makes an excellent study abroad scholarship essay. And this year, actually, we gave out $980,000 in financial aid and scholarships. So that's quite a lot of money available to you for use. And your identity matters. Whatever the intersection of your identities, if you identify as a first-generation college student, as a student of color, as a queer student, that matters to you and it matters to us. And it can definitely play a role in your experience abroad. So to learn more about how your identity may play a part in your experience abroad, please visit our website. We have a lot of resources available to you, and we're here to support you and answer any questions that you may have. All right, so the UCEAP program, and forgive us because we do have a lot of acronyms in our office, is the University of California Education Abroad program. The UC is so big that we have our own study abroad provider. So these programs are available for students across the University of California. You're earning UC credit on these programs. That means those letter grades are going to show up on your UC transcript. You will be able to factor these letter grades into your GPA. And so it'd be like you took those courses on campus. Any financial aid that you have can be applied on a UCEAP program. And for the programs that we're going to see today, again, we have summer options and fall and spring semester options. The other program type that we're going to look at today fall into our Opportunities Abroad program, or OAP program category. So these are this is a non-UC program. You will earn credit, of course, for your courses. They will count towards your graduation requirements, but those letter grades are not going to show up on your UC transcript and will not be factored into your GPA. So these are considered transfer courses. If you receive state and federal financial aid, you'll be able to use those towards these programs, but you would not be able to use your UC financial aid towards these programs. These are still quality programs. They still have excellent courses, and we've sent lots and lots of students on this program in particular that we're going to talk about today. But just so you know, if you receive UC aid, you would not be able to use it towards the cost of this program. But I'll talk a bit more about that later. All right, let's get into Scandinavia. So first off is Denmark. All right, University of Copenhagen has been very, very popular with our students over the years. If any of you are considering Copenhagen, it is truly a magical city, very, very student friendly. There are a lot of different colleges and universities in the city. And so although it's a pretty big city, it is very student friendly, very bikeable, very walkable, great public transportation. It's very navigable, so you feel like you can figure your way around the city pretty quickly. Collegium is a word you're going to hear a lot today. Collegium is a Scandinavian word basically for dorm. And so what you'll see in a lot of our locations is that students don't live necessarily in a collegium for their host institution. They just live in a general collegium that lots of different college students live in. So you may wind up being in a collegium with just students from your host institution, or even just international students from your host institution. But what's more common in Scandinavia is to just have these collegiums, which again are student residences or student dorms that students from any university live in together. And students really prefer that overall, because then they get to meet more students from other institutions across the city. In most cases, you're going to go to the market, purchase your food, cook your food in your shared kitchen in your collegium. You'll probably have either your own room or a shared room, and then shared kitchen, shared bathroom. There's lots and lots of places to eat. Copenhagen has great nightlife, but it can be expensive to eat out. And there are some places to eat on campus, but you may find yourself eating at home much more frequently. A place that students really like to frequent in Copenhagen is called Studenterset. And it's kind of like a student pub, coffee shop, hangout place. There's live music. It's a great place to study, great place to meet friends, and it's really, really affordable to grab a cup of coffee or a small bite there, or a beer if that's what you're doing. So that's a great place for students to hang out. Very cool city. University of Copenhagen itself is very strong in STEM. So I would say the majority of students we send to that institution are usually within the biological sciences, but they do have courses across the STEM disciplines. They're also quite strong in the social sciences as well. Another reason why students really like University of Copenhagen is because they can participate in internships and research opportunities for academic credit through UCEAP, which is huge. So you could maybe be taking 2 or 3 courses at the university and then also completing an internship or participating in a research or research internship opportunity for academic credit for something like 15 hours a week. So that's a really great experience to add onto your resume. It's great resume building and to really just kind of maximize your time there. So remember that that's an opportunity there. They also have lots and lots of student orgs that you can get involved in when you're at this institution, and all the institutions we're going to talk about today, you're considered a student of that institution, even though you're a visiting student. You'll have a student ID card. You are welcome to join any of the clubs and orgs that they offer there, intramural sports. They also have a buddy program, so they'll match you with a local degree-seeking student who will kind of show you the ropes the first few weeks that you're there, which is really cool. Please be aware that you are required to participate. It is mandatory in the Intensive Language Program, or ILP, before the semester starts. So they have you arrive, and this fall is a bit different. I don't think any of you on this call are actually planning to be there this fall. But typically students arrive in early August. They participate in the Intensive Language Program for the first 3 weeks that they're there. And then you have about a week of kind of testing out your classes, seeing your professors, seeing what your schedule is like before your actual semester begins. So semester begins like end of August, early September. And so that's important to note. Everybody has to participate in the intensive language program, but students actually like it. It's a great way to learn the language, kind of like survival Danish, and know how to pronounce words and stuff. And it's only 3 weeks. It's before your term begins. So it's usually a good time. That is University of Copenhagen. Next, we have Aarhus. Aarhus is a new partnership for UCEAP. We've only sent 1 student so far. So we're still learning a lot about this institution, but it's pretty exciting. Much like Copenhagen, they have easy public transit system. It's a very bike-friendly city. All of Denmark is bike-friendly. All of Sweden is bike-friendly. For those of you who know a little bit about Scandinavia, it's a pretty bike-friendly region of the world, so that's not an issue. They also have collegium housing options, same as Copenhagen. Aarhus is much smaller, quainter, quieter. So if that's what you're looking for, this could be a really good option for you. Aarhus has lots of academic disciplines available in English, but psychology and social work, business, political science, sociology, economics, and anthropology tend to be a bit stronger. So if you're more into STEM, or if your area is STEM, Copenhagen may be a stronger option for you, although Aarhus does have quite a bit of courses in the STEM field. And then next is Copenhagen Business School. Our partnership with CBS, Copenhagen Business School, is only for the summer. So if you are a business minor or econ or accounting management, this could be a good option for you. For the summer, it's a 6-week program. You're going to take 2 courses for 6 units, so 12 units total. This is considered a premier institution. I would say there are about 5 premier business schools across the world. UCEAP is partnered with 4 of those 5, and this is definitely one of the best. It's a great way to spend 6 weeks of your summer and have some good resume building there if you're in these areas of studies. We've already talked a lot about Copenhagen, so same situation applies here. CBS is not too far away from the University of Copenhagen. All right, last but not least in Copenhagen, this is DIS, or Danish Institute for Study Abroad. They fall into our OAP category. We have been partners with them for a very long time. So while they are not a UC program, they are still considered to be a very high quality institution. They're not a university. So that's important to note. DIS is considered a study abroad institution. All the students who participate in this program are degree seeking in the US. They're not all US citizens, but they are all degree seeking in the US. You earn your transcript from the University of Minnesota. Just something to note. But they do have a broad range of areas of study, and you would choose one core course. So if you are, let's say, in biological sciences, you would choose something perhaps in biomedicine as your core course. That's your main course, that's your main faculty advisor. All DIS faculty within the core course fields are actively employed in their fields. They're not just professors. If they are in biomedicine, they have a career in biomedicine and then also teach. And that's important to note because all core courses carry a practicum with them. And you have a week-long study tour that is also associated with your core course. So it's a lot of hands-on experience and study away outside of Copenhagen with your core course and those core course faculty who are active in their field. So it's pretty exciting. Again, collegiums are available. They also have apartments. And oh, I wrote homesteads. That's not a thing. It's a homestay. If you're interested in living with a Danish family, this is your opportunity to do that. Students have had absolutely incredible experiences with their host families. I know of a student who, it's now been 15 years and she still goes back to visit her host family. I would say this is a country where it's really, really cool to live with a host family. I would definitely recommend it. It's a pretty common practice there. So if you're interested in doing that, this is the program to do it with. And DIS offers UCSD students a $4,000 discount. So when you take a look at their price online, go ahead and subtract $4,000 from that, and that is your price. If you are a non-resident student or an international student, I would recommend considering OAP programs in general. You are going to pay your non-resident fee on top of any UCEAP program fees you see listed online. So keep that in mind when you're comparing program prices. So DIS Copenhagen is right down the street from University of Copenhagen. DIS students hang out at Studenterset just like University of Copenhagen students and Copenhagen Business School students. They have programs for fall and spring semesters as well as the summer. Definitely a great program option. All right, let's head on over to Sweden, just like a very short flight away from Denmark. Sweden, our most popular program is certainly Lund University. Lund is definitely one of my favorites as well. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful city. It's a college town, very student friendly. The college is definitely the heart of the city. Very easy to bike around the city or walk or take the bus. You will live in on-campus or off-campus dorms or apartments. Again, collegiums, use the same word. Cook at home, like I mentioned, you might do in Copenhagen. And it's only a 45-minute train ride to Copenhagen. So actually, you'll fly into Copenhagen, then take that train to get to Lund. So a lot of students will go out to Copenhagen for the night or for the weekend. It's a very, very quick train ride away. Lund is awesome in STEM. Just like Copenhagen, we've sent a ton of biology, computer science, and engineering students there in particular. They are also great in social sciences, and just like the University of Copenhagen, they do have internships and research opportunities available. So that will fit into your overall academic plan there. You can take maybe 3 courses plus an internship, or depending on the value of your courses, 2 courses plus an internship. Both University of Copenhagen and Lund University have semesters that are divided into periods. So for example, if you're there in the fall, you'll be there for period 1 and period 2. So you're not taking all of your courses at once. You may only have 1 course in period 1 and 2 courses in period 2. So that's kind of I think a nice thing, kind of gives you a bit of a break in terms of your courses. I'd say throughout Scandinavia, you'll find that you don't have a lot of busy work. Depending on if your classroom is seminar style or lecture style, there's not a lot of busy work there. Pretty much most of your grade is based on your final, your midterm and finals, which are really massive exams. I've heard upwards of 5 hours. So the onus is really on you to stay on top of your studies. There's not going to be any busy work to keep you on top of your studies. Just like the University of Copenhagen, they have student orgs and clubs available. At Lund, they call it student nations. So you join a student nation based on your interest, and those become your buddies. Those are like your best pals throughout your term there. They do lots of traveling together, and I've heard that Doing sauna is very popular in both Sweden and Denmark, especially through your student nation at Lund. So that's been very popular for students. They also have a mandatory intensive language program. And so that'll be before your semester begins, the first 3 weeks that you're there. And I think Lund in particular, they have very, very accommodating staff. So for students who have special accommodations needs or anything else, I think that their staff on site are really excellent. Moving on to Uppsala. Uppsala is another new institution for us, just like Aarhus. We actually haven't sent any students to Uppsala yet. I'm really excited to hopefully send a new student there this next year. Very quaint and small college town. It's absolutely gorgeous there, especially I think in the autumn. Lots of history in this Swedish town. And again, easy to bus, bike, or walk. I think Uppsala is quite strong in humanities, social sciences. They do have quite a lot of science courses as well. Unfortunately, there are not undergraduate research opportunities available at this time, but hopefully in the future. They're very strong in bio, computer science, math, physical science, business, and history in particular. Once again, you'll see collegiums as your housing option, and it is by far our least expensive Scandinavian program. So you're going to see University of Copenhagen at the tippy top of the cost spectrum, coming back down to Lund, Aarhus, and then Uppsala is our least expensive option. So if you're looking for the lowest cost program option in Scandinavia, Uppsala is absolutely it. And it is very easy to travel around all of Scandinavia, either by cheap flight or by train. And then we also have a program option through DIS, again, our OAP partner in Stockholm. They have a lot of different course options across many different disciplines. Same thing, core course DIS faculty are actively employed in their field. You'll have practicum experiences and week-long study tours related to your core course. They also have undergraduate research opportunities available. And there are travel grants that you can apply for to help fund your research and travel related to your research while you're there. They also do give our students that same $4,000 discount. So those are a lot of programs. Hopefully that wasn't too much information for you. Oh, I forgot about Norway. Sweet, sweet Norway. University of Oslo is actually my favorite institution of this whole bunch. They started out as a partnership just between UCSD and themselves, and it expanded to now be a partnership with the entire University of California. So we have students from University of Oslo on our campus and across the UC. Oslo is such, I think, a forgotten city. It is so cool. It is so cosmopolitan, so hip in the downtown area, but then in a matter of minutes, you can be nestled in a forest, on a ski run. For those of you who've seen the movie Frozen from Disney and heard the term fjord, Oslo sits in between the fjord and a forest. So I'll see people headed off to work or school carrying their skis because they plan to hop onto the ski run for lunch or as soon as they finish up their work or school day. They also have like a very hip nightlife, a gorgeous opera house in the fjord. It's got really cool art galleries. It's kind of got a little of everything. If you're interested in being outdoorsy, if you're interested in lots of culture, it also is a commerce hub for Scandinavia. I think it's a really, really cool city. This program is pretty affordable as far as the Scandinavian programs go, and great, easy public transit. It's easy to hop on the train in the city center and get to the airport and hop on to the rest of Scandinavia or Europe. The university itself has a campus downtown, right in the heart of the city, and also a campus tucked into the forest right next to the ski run. Depending on which courses you're taking, you may have courses on both campuses and they are connected by tram. It only takes 12 minutes to travel from the city, the center of the city where the university is to the other campus in the woods. It's just absolutely gorgeous. You can see the northern lights up in Norway. I think it's a really cool place to be. You can see that they are strong in both the social sciences and the health and natural sciences. They also are quite good in humanities and education, and they have an incredible law department. It's pretty rare that visiting students have access to the entire course catalog of a school's law department, but at University of Oslo, they do allow visiting students to access their entire law department. You will live on campus and you'll either cook at home or eat on campus. I found it to be pretty affordable to eat on that campus. So don't forget Norway, like I did in this presentation. It is absolutely cool. Every single student I've sent there has had an incredible time. All right, so from here, you're going to research your program options, check out what advising tools we have on our website. We are, even though we're all living this remote life, we are still available to you for drop-in advising virtually or pre-scheduled appointments virtually. We are also offered weekly financial aid sessions as well as financial aid advising. And you can also meet with our peers, so our students who've recently returned from studying abroad. All right, so now we're going to transition into questions. I am going to check out, do we have any questions here in the Q&A? No questions? Everyone feels like they learned a lot about Scandinavia. Okay, great question. So we have a question about the deadline for winter 2021. That deadline is June 8th. Let me double check that. Yep, Monday, June 8th is the Scandinavia deadline across the board. So for Sweden, Denmark, Norway, for UCEAP, I'm probably going to extend that deadline and be quite flexible. So you have definitely time to get that done. And so for UCEAP, this question is regarding the extra fee for international students and non-resident students. If you want to participate in a UCEAP program, so this would not apply to the DIS program that we discussed today, you're going to pay the program fee that you see listed on the website, plus the semester non-resident fee. Right now, the semester non-resident fee is $14,900. So you will pay that fee on top of the program fees that you see listed. UCEAP just updated the cost tabs on all of their study abroad programs, so you can actually answer 4 questions and get your total program fees listed, which campus you attend, whether or not you are a non-resident or international student or a California resident, and you can see exactly how much your program is going to cost for your term. So just be aware of that. I felt like UCEAP didn't do a great job of letting students know that in advance. Now they're doing a really great job of letting you know that from the cost tab. So just be aware there is the non-resident fee on top of the program fees. You will find in most cases that it's still pretty similar to what you're paying to be here at UCSD for the same term. But in some cases it's significantly more. So just be aware of that. Next question. Do study abroad advisors help with academic planning? Yes, absolutely. We are here to guide you in your academic planning. We still encourage you to seek advising from both your college advisor and your major minor advisors. As part of our application process, you will complete a form called the academic planning form. You'll take that form to your major, your minor, and your college advisors. In this case, you're going to be sending it virtually. They're going to review the courses that you are hoping to take at your host institution and give you guidance on whether or not those courses look petitionable or not. For some academic areas, they require that you petition your courses in advance of your term abroad. In most cases, you are going to petition your courses upon return. But we have you complete that academic planning form so that you can get guidance in advance about whether or not the courses you're planning to take are going to work and are going to fit into your academic plan. So basically, it takes the guesswork out of it. We don't want you going abroad just hoping these courses are going to fit well into your plan. We want you to have some assurance that these courses will be successfully petitioned upon your return. Okay, question about Oslo, cost of living. Norway is overall pretty expensive location. I would say if you are a student who eats out a lot, studying in Oslo is going to be very expensive for you. If you are a student who can go to the grocery store and cook at home, it's going to be pretty inexpensive. So the cost of the Oslo program is about $16,000. If you're a non-resident student, again, there's going to be a almost $15,000 fee on top of that. But if you're a California resident, that program is $16,000, which is considered a mid-range Scandinavia program. And so students who cook find it to be very affordable. Students who go out a lot, both for eating and nightlife, you're going to wind up spending a lot of money there. but it is really affordable. They have lots of student fees for museums and the ballet and the opera house. It's very affordable as a student to go skiing, to even travel around. Students do that really, really inexpensively. Does University of Oslo have a language program? So Oslo does not have an intensive language program. The only universities that I mentioned today that do have the mandatory ILP are going to be Lund University in Sweden and University of Copenhagen in Denmark. So Aarhus, Uppsala, and Oslo all do not have the mandatory ILP before. So if you're not interested in language study, keep that in mind. But again, students have told me again and again, they actually really quite enjoyed the ILP, if anything, so they knew how to pronounce Scandinavian words. So there are 3 distinct languages, actually 4: Danish, Norwegian, Swedish, and Finnish. But actually Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish all sound very similar. In fact, they all speak their own language. So a Swede will speak Swedish, a Dane will speak Danish, and they understand each other perfectly. Finnish is a bit harder. It sounds quite a lot like Russian. So there's that tidbit. Any other questions? These are great questions. Just to give you a better idea of the price range, at the low end, I said the cheapest program was Uppsala. Uppsala is about $13,900 for the semester. Most expensive at the top end is going to be University of Copenhagen. That program is just under $24,000 for the semester. The others are going to be in the ballpark of $15,000 to $17,000. And to give you an idea, a typical quarter at UCSD is about $13,000. So the closest you'll get would be Uppsala to that. Definitely not the most expensive in Europe. Definitely not the cheapest in Europe. University of Copenhagen overall is the most expensive program in my entire portfolio. So if you are thinking of Copenhagen, please keep that in mind. Housing costs in Copenhagen are quite expensive. And there is a Danish residency permit process that you'll go through. You also have to go through a Norwegian residency permit process, and the pre-departure expenses associated with that residency permit process are fairly pricey. Any other questions? So know that I'm here for you. You can feel free to reach out to us via the VAC if you are interested in studying in one of the Scandinavian options we talked about today. You can mention my name. Again, I'm Andra Jacques, or just mention the country that you're interested in, and your VAC message will be forwarded to me. You can also contact me and send me 3 dates and times that you are available if you want to do a pre-scheduled appointment. Again, the spring, so we don't have a winter program for Scandinavia, so that'll be spring 2021, spring semester. UCEAP deadline is coming up here on June 8th. DIS is still accepting applications for their spring program, so if you're interested in that, you can go visit, just do a Google search for DIS Scandinavia. But we hope to see you on one of our Scandinavia programs in the future. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your evening.